Gotta Get Thru The Mud is the opening track on our EP Feeler, which was recorded in Connecticut at a very small recording studio that is also not there anymore. In fact, maybe we're like cursed. I think, wow, now that I think of it, I think most of the recording studios that we worked in are no longer there. It's like, as soon as doublethink showed up, place shuts down. Anyway, a recording studio is no longer there. We recorded it in this tiny little studio space, and it was one of those times where making the recording felt really frustrating because the team that was recording it with us did not seem to really understand what we were trying to do. And I am almost comically so not really able to, in words, elucidate what I'm trying to do musically. So they would make fun of me all the time in the band, and even producers would start to make fun of me as well and be like, you know, Scott, what do you want this to sound like? And I'd start like going on this fucking mishmash of words that doesn't make any sense. And Eric Libby, who's, you know, the later guitarist of the band, he used to say cream cheese all the time. That was his thing. He would always default back to. He'd be like, what do you want this to sound like, Scott? Cream cheese? And I'd be like, yes, that's exactly it. Anyway, it was really difficult for us to explain to these people that were recording with us that, you know, like, oh, this is what we want to sound like. And for whatever reason, we just couldn't get it going. So it became really frustrating for us being like, no, it's got to be bigger. No, it's got to be louder. No, you got to bring the drums up. No, you got to turn the guitars down, you know, whatever. Lots of arguing. And Gotta Get Thru The Mud was probably the one that we spent the most time on. And it probably came out the best because we spent the most time on it. Yeah, so it sounds, of the songs, aside from Alone Song, of the songs on the EP, it sounds the best for sure. At this point in the band's history, I was becoming more into the idea of making our songs less conventionally structured. For a lot of the history of the band, before and after this EP, it was pretty straightforward. Verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, whatever, like, you know, just basic rock and roll pop structure. And with this EP, though, I kind of wanted to branch out into different directions and come up with different things. So a lot of the material was written with Graham and Zach in the band, but then they left before we recorded it. So we had Jeff and Steph in the band as we recorded these particular tracks. And so I think that Jeff and Steph kind of felt almost like these were cover songs because they didn't really have a hand in writing them. The songs changed a lot from the time period that they were written with Graham and Zach to the time period that Jeff and Steph came in. But still, they kind of felt like, I think they felt like it was almost like, you know, they were playing somebody else's tunes. So I think that Feeler was just at a very like kind of, it was at a time when the band was seriously in flux. We had new members, we had old songs, and we were working with a team that didn't really quite understand what we were trying to do. And I think that Feeler kind of represents this like influx time period for the group. That being said, Gotta Get Thru The Mud does have some really great parts to it, and is a good song overall. And I really like the dissonant piano thing that leads up into the bridge. That's one of my favorite parts of the song. And I think there's some good stuff going on in here, but when I listen to it now, the first thing that I think of is like, wow, this band really was in a transition period. It's just like all over this track. It's an interesting kind of thing to listen back to. It's almost like seeing a picture of yourself when you had a really bad haircut, you know, back in high school or something, and being like, oh, those were fun times, but that haircut's got to go. So anyway, Gotta Get Thru The Mud. The song is, once again, it relates back to the idea of honesty and being forthright. This time sort of connecting with the idea that in order to really get to know somebody, and in order to really get to know anything, you have to get everything. And that's what the Gotta Get Thru The Mud part is. It's like you can't just play in the river and swim with the fishes and lay on the beach. You have to get in the mud. You have to get all of it, not just the nice, pretty, you know, easily digestible stuff of whatever it is that you're talking about, whether it's a person or a thing or a place or whatever, but also the bad stuff, the dirty stuff, the dark, deep, dark, secret stuff. And so that's why the chorus is, to get across the stream, you got to get through the mud. It's like you've got to accept that it's not all beautiful. Hey everyone, this is Scott from Doublethink. Is this one of your favorite songs? Leave a comment about it below. I hope you're enjoying these track-by-track videos for all the songs on the new collection of Doublethink music called Keep the Wolves at Bay. If you would like to get a copy of this retrospective album, please click the link in the description of this video to head to our Indiegogo page where you'll be able to reserve your copy. Hope to see you guys soon.